Several years ago, I started my very first journal. Here it is. On the spine, it says Gabe Bowman, 2019 to 2020. The year following that, I started and finished my second journal. On the spine, it reads Gabe Bowman, 2020 to 2021, My Mission, Volume 2. These were journals that I kept while I was serving an ecclesiastical mission in the state of Washington in the city of Spokane. And I had a lot to write about. This is my first time away from home. I wasn't with my family. I only got to call once a week, and we were in the midst of COVID-19. And as a missionary, you got to understand real quick, COVID was a weird time because you don't just have a phone you can scroll on. It's widely prohibited. You just get up and you go and serve and experience powerful blessings that come from God when you set aside your life for Him. But like I said, COVID hit, and we didn't really have much to do. So these journals became a very powerful tool in filling time and also getting to know myself. More importantly, as I learned later, in getting to know God. Fast forward, I get home from my mission, come back to Utah, I fly in. It's December 18th of 2021, and it was this opportunity to take what I learned from this mission and apply it when I got home and to just change my life forever. There was this vibe alone, this feeling of absolute freedom. Life wasn't that easy. I get home, things are crazy. I've got all sorts of things going on. I am just trying to figure out how to be an adult and how to catch up, how to make money, and to be satisfied doing it. I'm working on relationships. I'm hanging out with my friends. I'm getting into some trouble just like I did before my mission.
Who is this homunculus?
And things were not as easy as I thought it would be. But lo and behold, this simple memory of those 2 years, these books, brought me back. And I thought to myself, what if I got back into them? What if I started my everything journal once again? Now, if you haven't been here before and you haven't seen any of my videos, this is going to be pretty new to you. But it's essentially one journal, just one journal. A lot of times we feel tempted to start a journal for our dream journal, our bathroom journal when we're displaced to get revelation, but you do. Rather than having a journal for everything, you just have one journal and you put all of your thoughts, ideas. You track your goals, you track your progress in the gym, you track how much food you're eating every day, you track whatever you want, and you put it all into one book and dedicate it, again, for 1 year. I've got records upon records upon records. That was last year. Now here is this year's Gabe Bowman 2026 Everything Journal. But it is, once again, proving to be one of the most powerful tools in self-improvement I have ever even used. My hopes is that I can illustrate verbally with 3 key points why you should pick up a journal by the end of today. And if not today, tomorrow. And if anything, at the very least, order it today. Because I would truly attribute 90% of my success in the past couple of years to my journal. So number 1, I think the biggest thing about journaling, or the reason why you should start journaling, is because it creates clarity. In today's day and age, it is really hard to find clarity. It's easy to build an opinion based off of what everybody else says with Instagram Reels and with TikTok and with YouTube Shorts. It's so easy to basically create an entire persona that is everybody but yourself. But when you pick up a journal, you become a man of principle. You become a man of direction. Think of Marcus Aurelius. His book, Meditations, was never meant to be published. This is some guy's private journal, and it has now become one of the most important books in the entire Stoicism self-improvement space that has ever reached a person. There's got to be something about journaling that truly opens up the windows of heaven and allows God to speak to us. It becomes kind of like a personal book of scripture. Or another example, Leonardo da Vinci. We've come to know a lot of things through his journal that even the doctors and scientists of his own day and age hadn't even the slightest glimpse of. His medical records, better than all the other doctors at the time. Before there was even cars, this guy was inventing submarines and tanks and flying machines. And we've drawn much of our inspiration from his journals. Bill Gates, go and check out the price tag he bought his journal for. And so you see, and maybe hopefully you understand that there's some serious power in journaling. What it will do to a man to fully pour his soul, his ideas, his beliefs, his principles onto a page. There is nothing more efficacious than journaling for the character of one person in this entire world, yet so often we ignore it. I'll tell you what, at times when I have been really, really stuck in my life, at times where I've been very lost, I found those answers through journaling, through writing things down. Sometimes my thoughts become more clear writing than thinking upon it. So yeah, number one, why you should pick up a journal today? Clarity. What it would have done to my life if I had started journaling younger. Let's get into some comments. Whoa. Oh my gosh. Let's start with Matt the Kicker. 2 days ago. Good work, Gabe. Thanks, Matthew. Oh, next. Born to Not Be. Shout out, Matt Kicker. Hey, you heard him. Also, thank you guys for the comments. Last week, we didn't really get any. All three of them were from Matt Kicker last time. All right, guys, he's carrying the team. And the week before that, we had not. This has been really inspiring for me. I appreciate you guys. And also, if you guys want to get shouted out in the next video, you know where to hit me. Comments down below. Base I am 7 said, great video, really enjoyed this. I'm also starting out on YouTube, so I like supporting other new creators. Keep it up. Thank you so much, Base I am 7. If any of you guys are thinking about starting a YouTube channel, do it. We got Matt the Kicker again saying, thank you, Gabe, for inspiring me inspiring to me to start setting goals. You're welcome, Matt Kicker. Matt the Kicker. Again, if you guys want to get featured on my YouTube channel, leave a comment down below. Back to the video. There honestly couldn't be a better time to be filming this video. I feel really, really motivated right now because today is April 23rd for reference. Yesterday on April 22nd, I basically just sat and wasted an entire day. I just wasn't motivated, didn't want to work. But lo and behold, as I'm sitting there, I'm reminded and I'm thinking, and I'm like, oh yeah, journaling. Journaling has always helped me with this, which leads me to the next point, which is the second point, why you should start journaling: motivation. Now, I'm not saying motivation as a whole. I'm saying maybe I would readjust that and I would say it's about focus. When I journal, it changes my focus. It keeps me focused on what is really important. All it takes is one little quick pit stop, in a race. When they're racing the Indy 500, they're racing for hours and hours and hours, and they have to stop to get their tires checked, to get the car maintained, everything like that. After so much driving at such high speeds for so long, they have to get a little bit of maintenance to make sure that they are safe to keep going. And that's exactly what the journal is for me. When I'm starting to burn out, when my tires need to be replaced, when I need to have my oil changed or whatever like that, this is the method, and it keeps me really focused. This is where I really get to commune with myself, reevaluate what I value, what I care about. And it's not really me writing about what am I doing wrong. It's not me really grilling myself. I just sit there, be right about how I'm feeling, and then suddenly it's like things start to heal itself. And it's happened every single time. I can say that without a doubt. Journaling always heals these gaps, these open wounds, and it really keeps you going. I remember when I was first back from my mission, that was a big struggle. I wasn't used to using my phone as much as I had been, as much as I was then using. I wasn't used to using it as much, and Instagram Reels weren't a thing before my mission. And so here I am with all these new things, all these new technological advancements that are literally designed to keep you addicted. And I had to find out how to combat this. Now, obviously the solution for me was just to quit and just delete Instagram, but I knew that wasn't solving the problem. It was a temporary fix for something that could manifest in other ways. And so journaling has actually been a really powerful tool for that. When other things have kept me from focusing and doing what I need to do, my journal has always grounded me and kept me in line. So you need to find something to combat this scrolling addiction that you have. Your journal's definitely going to be the way. If you haven't already, you should pick up a journal. So now to close this video up, I just want to share this last little point, or I guess the third point of why you should buy a journal today, or at least why you should start a self-improvement journal today. Sorry, my dog is making all sorts of weird noises. Anyways, the third and final point that I really want to get across, and perhaps it's maybe the most important point, is relationship. I think so often you, especially as men, assuming most of the people watching this video are men, if you're a woman, maybe you could relate with this in some way. I've never been a woman before, so I don't know exactly what your guys' struggles are, but I know for us men, you go off for purpose. Your grandparents, your ancestors all had a battle to win, a war to fight, a family to defend. And us as men, there hasn't been any challenges or trials to face. For us, I like to quote Fight Club, ours is a spiritual battle. That's our struggle. That's our war. It's a spiritual war. And in order to find purpose in life, or in order to pick up your sword, you have to get to know who you are spiritually as a son or daughter of God. And that's been maybe the hardest struggle for me in my life. Yeah, you kind of know, you have an idea, but why? Why me? Why would God put me in this position? Why would God give me these struggles? What is God trying to make of me with these hardships? I think we all have this feeling. I think we all have this feeling that we're meant for more, that we should be doing more. And there's a guilt that eats at us inside because we aren't doing enough seemingly ever. When I started to journal, I can't say it happened immediately, but maybe after the first year, sometime in the second year, after going through this journal, I had come to really find that I knew who I was. And I'm still on my journey, and I think there's always more to learn. But on top of that, I felt like I knew God a little bit better too, just through writing my feelings down, writing my concerns down, writing about the challenges I was facing. Suddenly I saw things not from the perspective that was myopic, but rather from the perspective that was almost eternal. Seeing things maybe perhaps how I would imagine God would see them. Understanding that these hard things that I had to face, the addictions that I went through in high school and even after my mission, these hard things were creating someone for me. It was creating who I needed to become. And ultimately, it's led me to do a lot of really powerful things in my life, at least in my own perspective. And I know that journaling will do the same for you, especially if it is done with the power of prayer. When you involve God into your journal, it literally becomes, as I say, a personal book of scripture, as I mentioned in the first point. I'm so thankful that I decided to start journaling because of that. I feel that I know God a lot better, and my journey doesn't feel so blind. Not to say that it doesn't sometimes, because it does, but it feels a little bit more clear. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. My name is Gabriel Bowman. If you guys enjoyed it, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you don't miss any of my future videos. There are going to be a couple changes coming up in the next several weeks. As you guys may know, I have a baby coming in September, so these videos might be a little different. I'm not sure how consistent I'll be able to be, but I'll stay as consistent as possible. You might see a little bit more, a couple more shorts from me every week. And so with that, I'm going to let you guys get going, but I love you, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.